In today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to make the spring for your pencil. Sometimes this is also called a helix. So there are 4 dimensions that you're going to need, or 4 measurements or 4 numbers that you'll need. The first one is you're going to need the thickness of your wire. So you're going to need this diameter right here. That'll be your first number. The second one is I need the diameter of the whole spring. Okay, so I need from edge over here to edge over here. The third number that you're going to need is the overall length. Okay, the overall length from tip to tip. And you're going to need one more number, and that's going to be how many times this spring revolves around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here at the right side on the edge, and I'm just going to go right across. So every time I go to hit it, I'm going to count as 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this spring spins around 12 times. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to go to OnShape. I'm going to create a new document, and I'm just going to call this spring. There we go. And I'm going to turn off my right and my top plane. I'm going to put a new sketch right on my front one, and I'm going to look right at my front plane. So the first thing is I need to create a cylinder that I can wrap this spring around, or this helix around. So I'm going to make a cylinder. So I'm going to make a circle. Start right at my origin. And the dimension I'm going to put in is going to be 2 of them. I'm going to put in my overall diameter, however wide I said that spring was. So I'm going to use 0.145. I'm going to subtract out the thickness of my wire. So I'm going to hit the minus sign, let the computer do all the work for me. 0.013. That was the thickness that I think of my wire. And hit enter, and there is the diameter of the cylinder I need. So I'm just going to finish this sketch. I'm going to get into my isometric view. We'll zoom in a little bit. We're going to go extrude that circle. I'm going to push it back the other way. And my distance is going to be however long I thought my spring was, whatever I measured at it. And I'm going to say mine was 0.536. So there's my starting cylinder, and that's what I'm going to wrap my spring around. You need something to wrap your spring around. So what I want to do is I'm going to create my spring, or my helix. So right up on top, you'll see that little spring symbol. If I hit that down arrow, you'll see where it says helix. So I'm going to select helix. And the first thing it says over here, if I bring my box a little closer so you can see, it says conical or cylinder face. So I'm going to select the face. Next thing, it's asking me clockwise or counterclockwise. Well, I'm going to, most everything goes clockwise, so I'm going to leave it clockwise. And revolutions, I'm going to type in 12 because that's what I had on the other one. So we're going to type in 12, and I'm going to hit my green check, and you can kind of see it's bouncing around here. The next thing is I want to get rid of, well, not really get rid of, I want to hide that cylinder. So I'm going to come over down in the bottom left-hand corner where my parts are. And you'll see where I have part 1. So I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to turn the visibility off so I can just see that helix. I want to go back and I want to turn on my planes, my other planes. So I'm going to turn on my top. I'm going to turn off my front, and I'm going to turn on my right side plane. All right. And I'm going to zoom out. All right, I want the plane that's going to be where this little knob, this little endpoint is sitting on, either this one or this one. So that's going to be this plane right here. So that's my top plane. So my right plane, I'm going to make that one invisible. Whoop, let me go back, make that invisible. And this little knob is sitting right on that plane. So what I want to do is I want to put a new sketch. So let's go to sketch, put a new sketch on this plane. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle right on the end of that helix. So let's zoom in so you can see where I'm grabbing, right on that little end point. There we go. And I'm going to dimension that. And that is going to be the thickness of my wire. So as I said before, 0.013 is what I used before. Okay, so there it is. Now, what I'm going to also do now is I'm going to go back, and we'll finish this sketch, and we're going to use the sweep command, which we used before. So I'm going to go up here on the top where it says sweep. And it's saying, oh, I need the face of my sketch. So there's my face, that little circle I had. It's asking me for my sweep path. So let's click on that. And I'm going to select this helix. Now this will take a couple seconds. As you can see, it's generating. This will take a couple seconds for it to generate. And there it is. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. And you'll be able to see, there's my spring. And that's how I created it. I'll just turn off my top plane, my origin, so you can see it. And that's how you create a spring.